Hello and welcome to the DSR Daily. I'm David Rothkopf. I'm joined by Riley Fessler and Minna Stein. It's a Thursday. There's a lot to get to. Why don't you kick us off, Riley?
Senior Pentagon officials led by U.S. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll arrived in Kyiv for talks with Ukrainian leaders, including the Prime Minister, and an expected meeting with President Zelensky to discuss ending the war with Russia. The visit comes amid unconfirmed reports of a secret 28-point U.S.-Russian peace framework drafted by envoys Steve Witkoff and Kirill Dmitriev that allegedly requires major concessions from Ukraine, such as territorial and military cuts. Neither Washington nor Moscow has confirmed the plan, and Ukrainian officials have avoided commenting directly on the rumored proposal, sparking fears in Europe that it could be overwhelmingly favorable to Russia.
Yeah, that's what all the reports are. All the reports are that, it calls for Ukraine to give up land, Ukraine to give up weapons, Russia to get essentially everything that it wants. Are you surprised? Have you been following this story? Trump has been leaning towards Russia from the beginning. And although there have been, the appearance of some kind of balanced outreach, not when you look more closely at it. The Biden administration provided lots of weapons to Ukraine. Trump does not. The weapons that we do provide to Ukraine have to be paid for by the Europeans. In terms of Russia, sometimes Trump talks a big game, and there have been a couple of statements about sanctions, but have you heard much about the enforcement of secondary sanctions? No. Have you heard much about using Russian assets to give Ukraine the kind of money it needs, as the Europeans have proposed? No. Has the U.S. response to Russian meddling along the borders of Europe been as tough as it should be? No. It's forced the Europeans to lean in a little bit more. There's nothing wrong with that, of course. But the United States should recognize that it is in our interests to defend Ukraine's interests and not to take the side of Russia. I suspect the meeting that takes place in Kyiv today with senior U.S. military officials and senior Ukrainian officials will be tense as a result. I don't expect we will hear much of the readout for that reason. Minute.
President Trump signed a bipartisan bill requiring the Justice Department to release unclassified files related to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, shifting the spotlight to potentially sensitive information about Epstein's high-profile associates. The measure passed Congress with overwhelming support, shout out to the one, after Trump reversed his earlier opposition despite resistance from GOP leaders, citing privacy concerns. Attorney General Pam Bondi now has 30 days to disclose the records with limited redactions, while also pursuing a new Trump-directed investigation into Democrats mentioned in previously released documents.
Yeah, which of course provides them with the loophole to say, well, we can't give you these documents. They're involved with these investigations. Of course, there shouldn't be any investigations of this sort because the Justice Department determined after a long looks at these things that there was no grounds to move on these people. Having said that, I expect we'll get some documents and that they will be heavily weighted towards Democrats, that some of the Trump documents and documents pertaining to his various friends or members of his administration will mysteriously disappear, and that everybody will be dissatisfied with this process for a long time to come. But it did unite almost the entire Congress and the vast majority of the American people who want to see this treated properly. I think the White House is grossly misreading the views of Democrats when he says and tries, as the White House seems to be doing, to shift the focus to Democrats who might appear on Epstein's various lists. I don't know any Democrats who care. Seriously, if they find Bill Clinton did something wrong, or Larry Summers did something wrong, or somebody else who's a Democratic donor did something wrong, they should pay the price. Everybody who abused these women should pay the price. And Trump seems to think it's partisan, seems to think they're attacking him for partisan reasons, and he just doesn't get it. And given that this Epstein stuff started to go down, I don't know, 20 years ago, the fact that he doesn't get it yet, it's a sign that he doesn't want to get it, and we can only imagine the reason. Riley?
A U.S. district judge has dismissed a Trump administration lawsuit challenging New York's Protect Our Courts Act, which bans federal immigration officials from arresting people at state courthouses without a judicial warrant. The Department of Justice had argued the state law unconstitutionally obstructed federal immigration enforcement efforts. However, the judge ruled that New York's choice not to assist in civil immigration enforcement is protected by the 10th Amendment, noting that no federal law can compel states to cooperate with such efforts. The ruling upholds the state law, ensuring that individuals can use New York courts, quote, without being targeted by federal authorities, end quote, according to the state's attorney general.
Remember when Republicans were pro-states' rights? Remember when that was a sort of central tenet of what they do? Nobody has been more anti-states' rights than Trump. He wants to meddle in state activities like elections. He wants states to follow his law, or he will withhold support for them. They just yesterday, they started talking about, apropos of our various shows on AI, but apparently they're circulating an executive order that says the Justice Department will prosecute states that promulgate AI regulations, which is also undoubtedly illegal and will also end up in the courts. But, it's kind of strange what we've ended up with here. As Republican administrations go, Republicans are pro-free trade, not Trump. Republicans are anti-central government involvement in the economy. Trump has the government buying pieces of companies like a socialist or a communist government. He is inserting himself in a wide variety of state activities, as I said, he's also doing other things that seem very un-Republican per their traditional views, like undermining the U.S. dollar, or undermining the independence of the Federal Reserve, or undermining our alliances and weakening our national security, or attacking our intelligence community, or attacking leadership in the military, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's just, it's not Republican. It's MAGA. It's different. When both parties turn the page on Trump, which is happening pretty darn fast, if you believe what you're reading in the papers or seeing on TV, I think there's going to be a big discussion about the wholesale abandonment of some of these fundamental tenets by Trump and by those closest to him. Minna?
Several Democratic lawmakers who are military and intelligence veterans released a video reminding service members that their oath is to the Constitution, not President Trump, and that they must refuse illegal orders. Trump responded with fury on Truth Social, calling them, quote, traitors, promoting posts suggesting they should be executed, and amplifying rhetoric accusing them of sedition. His reaction has intensified concerns that he is attempting to politicize the military and treat it as a personal instrument of power rather than a constitutional institution.
Yeah, this is pretty ugly, and it continues Trump's recent streak of gross, ugly overstatement, from his quiet piggy remarks to his things happen remark, and now to this. And we talked about this, by the way, at some length on yesterday's DSR podcast. But in terms of this particular issue, stop and think about it. What these veterans of the military and the intelligence community were saying in this video, to which he took offense, was uphold the Constitution. What they were doing was upholding their oaths of office. And Trump feels, apparently, that upholding the Constitution or honoring your oaths of office is sedition, treason, and he embraces people who call for the hanging of these people. It's outrageous. It's offensive. And, on a real level, I mean, if anybody else said this kind of thing, you would say it's demented. It's crazy behavior. Or, as we call it here at the DSR network, Thursday. It's the right last story, Rod.
President Trump announced he will host New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani for a face-to-face meeting in the Oval Office this Friday. Mamdani, who Trump has previously derided as a communist mayor, confirmed the meeting was requested by his team, fulfilling a commitment to meet with anyone for the benefit of New Yorkers. The meeting is scheduled to address key issues including public safety, economic security, and the affordability agenda that was central to Mamdani's election campaign. The high-level discussion will cap months of acrimony and public feuding between the two New York politicians, following Trump's previous threat to withhold federal funding from the city if Mamdani won.
Yeah, it doesn't cap anything, I'm afraid, Riley. I think it is a new chapter in the acrimony. I think it will begin a new chapter of acrimony. Whether they, sort of play at having a good meeting tomorrow, or whether the meeting goes badly and produces, unpleasant headlines, it's unclear. I guess I'm leaning towards the other. I think, Trump thinks he can sit with anybody, see the early Zelensky meeting, and use the meeting to his benefit because he's a media mastermind. Mamdani's pretty good at media too. And I would not expect that in a media pissing contest following tomorrow's meeting, Trump is going to come out any the better for it. And then we're going to get into the day-to-day, and the economy of the next year is not going to be good, and there's going to be a lot more pressure on Trump. The political trends are going against Trump, and he's going to look for scapegoats. And he likes to attack New York. MAGA likes to attack New York, likes to attack big cities. And so I think this is going to be a rocky relationship. They may try to put a good face on it tomorrow. Frankly, I hope they do. It's in everybody's interest for them to talk and find some common ground. But frankly, I'm not counting on it. I think that we can expect fireworks in that relationship over the course of the next several years. Well, that's it. It's Thursday. What do we have later today? We have Words Matter with Norm Ornstein. What did we do yesterday? We did DSR with Rosa Brooks. We did a good Siliconsciousness, very interesting on how bots are changing the way the legal profession works. A lot of implications far beyond that. And of course, we've got all our other stuff. So if you like it where you see it. If you can subscribe, whether it's on YouTube or elsewhere, please do that. And if you want to support us, go to the DSRnetwork.com, click on membership. It's a couple of bucks a month. Well, it's a few bucks. It's not a couple. It's a few. And we'll appreciate it, and it makes it, likely that we can continue to do what we do for a long, long time to come. So please help support what we're doing here at the DSR Network. For now, thank you, Minna. Thank you, Riley. Thank you, everybody, for listening.